Hey there, Kevin here. I am doing an interview with Brian, the Adventure Van Man. I met Brian here about 3 days ago. He shot some video of my RV, and we've actually followed Brian on YouTube. He's got some really cool videos. He's low key and he's just easy to watch. Very easy to watch, and that's really nice, especially for YouTube. And so let's get started. So how you been doing, Brian?
I've been doing good. It's been a pleasure to meet and to get to know you, Kevin.
All right.
Of course, I was attracted over your way because of that interesting motorhome you have. And it's just been a pleasure to get to know you and learn more about your background in that. And you're definitely my type of people. I love the fact that you're a DIY type of guy, and you've done a great job on that Travco.
So, well, thank you. And this is kind of a video to learn a little bit about you. So tell us about Brian.
Well, I am from San Diego, California. I'm in my mid-40s, and geez, about 6 years ago, I had been living my life, which I'd been doing there in San Diego my whole life. Owned and operated a landscape maintenance business, and running that for about 10 years. And you know, about 10 years into it, I just started to kind of burn out and started to kind of have that midlife, you know, is this all there is to life and types, you know, attitude, and decided I did want to kind of make a change and got on the old internet. And these days you can find pretty much anything you're looking for. And over time, arrived on some websites that were talking about people living on the road out of vans like this and making it work for them, living on a lot less money, and finding seasonal work around the country. And I thought, you know what, I'm single, I got no kids, well, why not give this a go? And I did, and I haven't looked back since. It's been a journey of a lifetime. I've experienced and met so many great people over the last 5-6 years that yeah, I feel like I kind of opened up a whole new world that I never knew about.
And you're happy?
Yeah, I'm happy, a lot less stressed, and making ends meet and then some. I'm able to save money. I find these seasonal jobs that pay the bills, allow me to move around and travel, and still sock some money away. So it's been a really good thing for me. And yeah, again, meet a lot of great people out here.
And I see one of your jobs is the beet harvest. I guess that's your main gig now, or?
Yeah. I run up to North Dakota, and they harvest these beets for the sugar content, and it's turned out to be one of the better gigs for me. It pays enough, and it's the work type I enjoy. So yeah, I've done that as well as some other things, a lot of different things. I've worked on fishing boats in Alaska, amusement parks in Iowa, you name it. Yeah, Amazon.com in Kentucky, and it's really got me to move around the country and just experience things that I never even knew existed.
So how many months out of the year would you say you're working?
Not a lot, and it feels good, you know. Some of like this last year, I probably worked 2 months out of the 12 months, and that 2 months made me enough money with how I live to be able to probably get by the whole year. Do have some money socked away still from the previous jobs. The longest I've worked at a seasonal job is, I think, about 4 or 5 months. That was at the amusement park. Most of these jobs offer me a free place to camp, so I can park my van, plug into their electricity, use their facilities, shower in that, and they pay me to be there.
So they give you a home base for a little bit.
Yeah, it works out good. It's you know, it's an option that I never knew existed till I started doing all this research and that. So
and you got YouTube going on.
Started doing the YouTube about a year into it. I had been living in a van in San Diego, my hometown, for about a year, and after that first year, I was working a steady job. I folded my business, just got a menial job, and then I started researching the seasonal jobs. So yeah, over the time, you know, things kind of developed into this pattern of working for a little bit and having a lot of freedom.
So what is some of the most exciting times you've had on the road? Anything?
You know, my thing is out here, a lot of what I'm doing is I'm seeking peace. I grew up in the city, and a lot of people that get into travel, they come from, you know, small town America, and they want to go see the big cities and all the big attractions, and that's not me. I'm a get away from it all type. I grew up camping, and that was my family's objective, to kind of get away from everything and go have some peace in nature. And so that's what I'm chasing. I go chase the money for a little bit till I got enough to go chase the peace and quiet in nature.
You're just the opposite of some of the other ones I watch on YouTube.
Yeah, and everyone's different. There ain't no shame in anyone's.
That is the absolute beauty of being here today.
Yeah.
This place is just plastered with different personalities, and it's really an interesting thing.
Yeah, and you know, the cool thing is we all get along. We all have our differences. And I don't experience a lot of separation of class or, people.
There's a common camaraderie.
Yeah. Very open-minded people, and it's been
How about
great.
the most exciting thing, trouble-wise, or anything like that you run across? Or
Yeah, some things has come up. I've been out in the middle of nowhere and gotten this van stuck and thought, how the hell am I going to get out of here? And, everything has worked out.
It just happens.
Happens to work out. And, the time I got stuck, I was out in the middle of nowhere in the hills of Colorado. Had to walk a couple miles down a farm road to find someone. And when I told them what I was doing and why I was stuck out on a dirt road, their eyes light up. What?
Okay.
You're out there traveling, living in a van? Like, okay, how can I not help you? And people are really, and the whole time on the way, they're asking questions, and it's a really, it opens up conversation. It's a real good conversation starter. And,
so you're probably finding that most Americans or most people are helpful.
And they think what I'm doing is the coolest thing in the world. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I've had a lot of very positive feedback, and I'm kind of a quiet person. When I'm out doing my thing, if I go grocery shopping, typically in the past, if I'm going through the cash register, I don't talk much. But since I've been on the road, I find that's changed with my personality. I'm very open, and they ask me how I'm doing. I tell them, and I say I'm doing great. I'm out on the road, and I'm camping in your town. And oh, really? Where are you from? And next thing you know, I'm talking to a complete stranger in a completely strange town, and I feel like I have this connection.
So it kind of brought that out.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's been neat.
Any special challenges you run across?
I've been lucky. I've met a lot of people on the road that have had a lot of problems with their vehicles and various things, and I've had very little trouble as far as things going wrong. I think that's just chalked up to luck. I've just, I've had a few breakdowns and, needed to tow to the nearest shop, but nothing that was devastating or.
Okay. What makes a good liveaboard van? This is actually something I've been thinking about lately. I met a lady across here. She's so proud of what she paid. She paid $700 for it. Then she tells me the engine slap wore out. So I almost felt like she needed a good foundation to build her home on.
Yeah.
So, you've had pretty good luck with this one. You said, and you've had 2 or 3 vans before it.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been lucky, and the reason why I say I've been lucky because I've met so many people that have had problems and engines being blown and lots of downtime, at the mechanic shop, and I'm pretty handy. I've had some things come up, starter go out, water pump, and I'm able to fix it myself, brake jobs and that. So I have that going for me that gives me a little security and comfort. But so far, really, it's been a dream. It's I'm almost kind of waiting for something to go
Something's gotta
wrong.
Go wrong.
Something's got to go wrong. Yeah.
What's your favorite parts of the country?
So far, for what I do, I really like to not move much and be able to camp for long term, a couple weeks at a time. The West really lends itself well to that. There's a lot of big open space of public land and national forests. I do like Colorado and Utah a lot, but I do like the Northeast as well. I spent a summer in Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont. Just that green, lush, forest.
Right.
It's hard to beat. It's nice in the summer. I get out of there before the winter, so having the ability to move around and kind of adjust according to the nice, comfortable temperatures makes pretty much every destination really nice.
Okay.
So, yeah.
You ever stealth camp, or do you consider you always stealth camping?
Well, when I started, that was how I started in the city. I was working a part-time job And this job was an early morning job. I worked from 4 a.m. to about 11 a.m. So I'd get up real early, work, and then be off and have basically the rest of the day free. So I did that in the city. I'd work my job, I'd get off, I'd go to a gym where I had a membership to shower, because I don't have, in the city, you can't really shower outdoors.
Right.
So I'd go take my shower at the gym, I'd head down to the beach and hang out at the beach for the rest of the day, and then I'd go into the city and kind of find a dark, quiet street to park on, get my sleep for the night, get up early, go to work, and rinse and repeat. And I went from paying $1,200 in rent to live in San Diego to paying $0 in rent.
Right, that's a huge difference.
Just by sacrificing a little.
I hear that story all over out here.
Yeah.
And I think that's a driving factor for a lot of people.
Yeah, rent is getting out of control. The prospect of owning a home is becoming less and less of a dream based on how expensive it is. So I see this as definitely a movement.
Yeah, it is. And it's the same over and over again, I hear it.
Yep.
To get rid of that expensive rent. And when they say the rent was expensive, I think I have not rented anything since I was 20 years old, maybe.
Yeah.
And to think you putting all that money into something you'll never get any
you never own
gain
it.
out of. Yeah. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Any advice to people how to live frugally as far as, water consumption, or how you live your life, or anything you might want to share?
Well, what I've learned, it's all about sacrifices, and I sacrifice a little bit of comfort, but what I find is I'm comfortable. I haven't sacrificed a lot of comfort. What I've sacrificed is luxuries, and what I didn't realize, that a simple thing like a hot shower is really a luxury. I mean, there's a lot of people in different parts of the world that how they clean themselves is taking a bucket of water and dumping over their head.
Right.
Our Americanized, hot shower is really a luxury that we've gotten used to and conditioned that we can't live without. And what I found is that I can live comfortably without a lot of things that I thought I previously couldn't.
I guess we're spoiled.
Yeah, you end up being spoiled, and I stay clean and hygienic. I've got a portable, system for using the bathroom and for showering and staying clean. And it doesn't involve a lot of water. And, I think if you're willing to do a little bit of research, you can find that you can live a very comfortable life without all those luxuries that we've gotten so used to, And you almost forget about them after a while. You forget about, I do my laundry at a laundromat, and sometimes there's long stretches between cities with laundromats, and I'm washing my underwears in a little bucket with some soap and hanging them to dry, and to me, there's nothing wrong with that. It's not an inconvenience.
A pretty small sailboat for a year and a half, and it was interesting. Actually, it's probably about the same square footage as a van, because a van's wider and square all the way back.
Yeah.
We'd have to stand on the couch for somebody to walk through, and no microwave, and you learn how to be frugal and simple with, especially when you're conserving water and everything else. Yeah.
No, life's been good to me, and I'm spending a lot less money, and seeing parts of this country that I've always wanted to see and never thought I would see. And the big part of the experience for me moving around is the people I meet too. I found that when I was born and raised in a city, and by my young adult life, I was convinced that the world was an ugly place and you could trust no one. And the more I've moved around this country, I found that that's a very small portion of this country.
Yeah, I've always heard that about New York, and we went to New York City. I didn't find that.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I found that there's an overwhelming number of good people that are kind and generous and helping, and
you got to get out there and meet somebody like right here to learn that person's not a bad person.
It's true.
And you got chain link fences marking off people's properties, and you don't know what's happening across the fence, and you badmouth them. But if you go shake their hand and say hi to them and shoot the breeze, you'll find out they're just like you.
Yep, it's true. It's true. It's really helped me believe in humanity in general, and where we're sitting here talking at this event, it's really proof of that. We've got a lot of people here together in a small area, relatively camped together, and having group activities, and I've yet to hear one argument, one fight or anything. Everyone's
Absolutely
getting
not.
along.
And you just gather around the campfire. I walked up to several campfires and just, hey, they'll say pull up a chair.
Yep.
And it's a wonderful thing.
It's pretty dang neat. Yeah. To me, this is how life should be. This is it.
And maybe this is the way it's headed in this country.
Yeah.
Because I think this is growing, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, there's a movement, and it's worldwide. You know, there's a big. This is growing in Australia. I mean, I've networked with people in Australia and Europe, and yeah, it's all over the world. People are seeing that we don't need to bog ourselves down with so much materialism and own so much. And
it's interesting how things adjust itself. You know, I guess the people do, and generations do.
Yeah, we're a very adaptive species. I think we're capable, and the funny thing to me is you know, we've evolved to this point with all this technology and comforts, and it's easy to forget where we came from. We tend to think we can't live without a lot of this stuff, but we did it for thousands of years. You know, we've come a long way.
You know, being a red-blooded male, I look at a woman as beauty and everything. I still do, but as I get older, I look at people as mammals sometimes, because that's all we really are, you know. And it's interesting, and the human species is obviously dominant, but when you get down to it, we're just another species on the planet, I guess.
Just surviving like all the other animals.
And the rich ones die just like the young ones do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All right.
Very interesting.
Any final words or anything?
No, other than it's been a pleasure getting to know you, Kevin. And you know, you're one example of you know, the different types of people out here. We got people out here that are living on the road in desperation. We've got a lot of folks out, you know, that have a home base and just like to get out and take trips. And the beauty of it all is that we all intermingle. You know, there's no separation. Doesn't matter that you own a home. You're one of us, you know, and it's really neat. I feel very grateful.
I'm an honorary van dweller.
Yeah, I feel grateful that I had the chance to meet and get to know you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you down the road sometime.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hope like hell this thing turns out.
Yeah, exactly.